Breaking news. We have an official ruling from the Nevada State Athletic Commission. Devin Haney is an undefeated fighter again. Ryan Garcia with the 1-year suspension. Let's talk about it. ESPN reports Ryan Garcia has been suspended 1 year by the New York State Athletic Commission, sources tell ESPN. While his decision victory over Devin Haney has been overturned to a no contest following positive tests for the PED Ostarine. Ryan Garcia also forfeited $1 million to Golden Boy and was fined $10,000 by the commission. In case ESPN reporting it is not good enough for you, Dan Rayfield says breaking. Ryan Garcia's legal team have made a settlement agreement with the New York State Athletic Commission. He has agreed to the following: suspension of at least 1 year, forfeit of $1.1 million from his official contract purse, which goes to Golden Boy. Haney may get a percentage, and $10,000 fine max by the state. The fight is officially a no contest. Ryan Garcia, he heard the news, or now that it's been public, he said a couple things. They took my victory away, says Ryan Garcia on his verified Twitter. Nothing that was in my system was enough for anything. This is why I'm done with the game. I never effing cheated. F you. Ryan continues to rant. I was already retired, so I'll just come back out of retirement for a year. Take my victory away. Add that onto the list of the ish I'm already going through. I'm ready for business. Get ready. I already ain't give a up. Run when you see me. Ryan goes on to say, I don't give a F. I'm hitting the switch again. And then he says, it's okay. I'm retired. I will come back next year or in a year. So per usual, ego is right. The great ego Stradamus strikes again. How was I right? Because this is about the punishment that I told you guys Ryan would receive. I don't know what this is viewed at as to y'all, but I think this is about as good as it was going to get. I mean, Ryan Garcia, his team probably wanted 6 months, 4 months, so they didn't quite get that, but they got a year, and he has to pay $1.1 million. Now, with the amount of money and publicity that Ryan Garcia gets, I really doubt that the million is really taxing him and gonna hurt his pocketbook. And then it says it goes back to Golden Boy, who knows, they could end up chipping Ryan Garcia off and giving some of that money back. So I don't really look at the lost wage of $1 million for a multimillionaire like Ryan Garcia as being that stern. The year punishment, I mean, he's gonna be out from the sport for a year. Now, here's the interesting thing. I don't know if it'll be retroactive and backdated, meaning starting from about April, or if it'll be from today's date. So Ryan won't be back in the ring until likely June of next year. So that is his punishment. This is pretty much what I said. I said he'll probably get 6 months to 1 year. Now, the Haneyacks, they told me that Ryan was going to get a lifetime ban. I told you guys in my post work that that wasn't going to happen. The Haneys also pitched to the commission that they wanted to set precedents. They wanted Ryan Garcia to receive, I guess, a maxed out sentence, 2 to 5 years or whatever they were expecting. And in addition, the Haneys and their lawyer, their attorney, Pat English, wanted Ryan Garcia to incur a loss. And they wanted Devin Haney to be awarded a +1 victory as if he defeated. Now, Devin Haney, his record does go back to undefeated, so he's back an undefeated fighter based on Ryan's positive test, but he doesn't get credit for the victory, which is exactly what I told you. That was a big ask from Team Haney, and that part did not pan out. I don't know if they're happy with the year. This is breaking news, so I don't know if they wanted him to get jammed up for longer, but to me, this is kind of a slap on the wrist. It's like a middle ground of what Ryan Garcia's team was fighting for. Some people your expectations, you clearly don't know boxing. Talking about lifetime ban for a first-time offender, I told you guys that wasn't going to be the case. So Ryan has to sit out for a year. To me, that's not that crazy of a punishment, considering guys like Terrence Crawford just beat Errol Spence, and by the time he fights Israel Madrimov, he will have been out of the ring for, you guessed it, over a year. Errol Spence has done this multiple times in his career where he's had 9 months to a year off. So depending on if they backdate these charges or if it's a clean year from today's date, which is the end of the month, June 20th, we'll see when the year actually starts. But that's not that strict of a punishment. But this is what I expected, and this is what I told you guys on my channel. You guys let me know if this was the right punishment. So as I stated, Haney Garcia was a circus of a fight. It was a mess. Eddie Hearn has stated that the fighters oftentimes are delusional in terms of their expectations for what the fight would generate. And he says he believes that's the case. And he got the number and forecasted the number for this particular fight. So what does that mean? Basically, Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney overshot it and thought their fight would be bigger and they would have made a whole ish ton of money more. Eddie Hearn says he believes Golden Boy paid them what he owed them, and they have probably been bluffed and told that the fight was going to generate more money. So they're expecting these massive back-end checks, and the fight didn't generate that. So to me, this is just a terrible fight. This is the worst fight of 2024. You have Ryan, who cheated and had Ostarine in his system. You have Devin Haney, whose trajectory has definitely been compromised by this fight because so much occurred and people can't unsee that. So everything that I've said still stands. People can't unsee the vicious fight and outcome. And you got a multimillionaire like Ryan who kind of gets a slap on the wrist. He gets a year, he loses $1 million. I mean, he paid allegedly 1.5, which we now know to be like 650K because he missed weight by 3.2 pounds. So Ryan Garcia, he did all this, and at best he's getting a year out of the sport, which is not too crazy, unless he just parties all the time and loses it. Devin Haney, again, he's an undefeated fighter, but he's not going to be viewed the same way. It is what it is. He's not going to be viewed the same way. You guys can say whatever you want. His team was fighting to get like Badu Jack and get the victory. That didn't play out. So you just took this beating, and now that that's discerned and we have an outcome, what do you do now? Does Devin fight as mandatory? Does he let the WBC strip him for not fighting Sandor Martin? Bob Arum has thrown out that he will make a Teofimo fight if Devin doesn't want to fight Sandor Martin, because he's going to have to take a pay cut to fight a crafty guy like Sandor Martin. Ryan's on the sideline. The Haneys, now that we have an actual ruling, they can't be bothered. We all know what happened. Ryan's on the sideline. You weren't sounding like you wanted to rematch him anyway, so you're going to have to move on with your career or decide the next step. So we'll see what the Haneys decide. Let me know what you guys think of the punishment for Ryan Garcia. I told you this would be likely. I told you the no contest, no decision would be the end result. So that's what happened. Devin Haney's team wanted it to be a victory, and now that you requested it and the public knows that, it just kind of looks bad. For Ryan Garcia, now his victory has an asterisk by it, and all in all, I told you this was a lose-lose situation for Devin Haney and a fight that shouldn't have happened. Ego Shadama strikes again.